So the lead singer of the Four Tops, Alexander Morris, was put in a straitjacket in the hospital because they didn't believe he was who he said he was. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the lead singer of the Four Tops, Alexander Morris, suing a Detroit, Michigan area hospital for racial discrimination after they put him in a straitjacket style garment because they didn't believe that he is, in fact, the lead singer of the Four Tops. Now, there's a lot I want to get into. There's a lot to quote unquote unpack here, as a cool kid say. But first things first, I understand how the mistake can be made. I get it because look, okay, Alexander Morris is in his 50s, like I think 53, 55, something like that. He's not that old. 58 at the oldest, 53 at the youngest. Not even 60 years old. You're talking about the Four Tops, Sugar Pie, Honey. These guys from the 60s, okay? So I will understand if you don't know about the Four Tops and how they've been able to replace certain members. I will understand you not believing them. But all it would have taken is just a Google search, and you would have found him. He said his name is his name, Alexander Morris, Four Tops, you would have found him. Or just a recent performance by them, you would see him right there on the stage. But rather than doing any of that, they said, nah, this dude might be just smoking crack or something crazy. Put him in a straitjacket, put him in a psych ward, all this and that and the third. Treating him aggressively because they think they have to. When you're dealing with drug addicts, people like that, you got to kind of be aggressive and whatnot. But he was not a drug addict. He was just in there for some heart issues. And he needed certain treatment. He needed oxygen and whatnot. They denied that. They put him in a straitjacket, and they were trying to take him to a psych evaluation until he said, hey, look, check it out. See this right here? That's me at the Grammys on stage performing. Oh, we're so sorry. Here's $25. $25? A gift certificate, huh? I mean, it's totally crazy. Now, before I go any further into it, let's check out the actual video here. This is going to be an older video, but the lawsuit is happening right now. And of course, I will link to everything in the box. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Lead singer of the Four Tops wants to sue a Metro Detroit hospital over racial discrimination.
Alexander Morris is accusing the staff of placing him in a straitjacket after not believing that he was a member of the musical group. Our Ray Strickland has more from Ascension Macomb Oakland Hospital in Warren.
Four Top singer Alexander Morris says an ambulance actually brought him to this hospital due to him having complications with a heart disease. And he says hospital staff here actually stopped his treatment because they didn't believe who he was. He says this is an incident of racial profiling, and he calls it one of the most demeaning moments in his life.
The shock, I think, was my first feeling.
Now, let's pause right here. Of course, that's him right there in the center. And he is now the lead singer. The original lead singer, I think his name is Levi Tubbs. If I got that wrong, let me know in the comments. He died back in like 2008. There's only one original member of the Four Tops in the current Four Tops. And that man is 88 years old. So I will understand if you see this guy who does not appear to be 90 years old almost, and he says he's the lead singer of the Four Tops, I will understand being skeptical. But again, a Google search would have solved it. Although you got to ask yourself, how many guys that smoke crack come in there and say, I'm X, Y, and Z person? But still, that doesn't mean that he was able to be treated that way, especially since he is who he said he is.
Alexander Morris says he would have never thought when he was performing at the Grammys in February that 2 months later he would be subject to racial discrimination. But he says that's exactly what happened on April 7th when he came to receive treatment at Ascension Oakland Macomb Hospital for heart complications. But Morris says when he told hospital staff that he was the lead singer of the Four Tops and had concerns for his safety, he says that's when they stopped his treatment, put him in a straitjacket with plans for a psych evaluation.
I came in with chest pains, couldn't breathe for a history of cardiomyopathy. And because you refused to take 2 minutes to verify my identity, you stopped my treatment, rolled me in the hall, and set me to go into psych.
That's terrible. It really is terrible. I mean, and the thing about it is, he said his name, he had his ID on him, his wife was there in the waiting room with him. So it's like, I don't know what more they wanted. I don't, that was just a big mistake on their part. And then you compounded it by treating them like garbage after the mistake that you made.
That's a little bit much for me, because my health should have came first.
He had his ID with him. They didn't believe that he was a member of the Four Tops. They didn't believe that he was the lead singer for the Four Tops, so they thought that he was insane for saying something like that.
And the reason why he said that he's the lead singer of the Four Tops is because they were asking him the question. Upon intake, they're asking him his occupation. Okay, yeah, I'm a lead singer of the Four Tops, in place of Levi, who died way a long time ago. I'm the acting lead singer of the Four Tops.
Morris says it took his wife to verify his identity to end the hours-long ordeal. He says he even suffered seizures during his stay at the hospital over several days. And
by the way, this is in Warren, Michigan, if you don't know. This is in Warren, Michigan. So I don't know too much about Detroit Metro or Michigan at all. Is this a racist place, or is it known to have these kind of incidents happen? I don't know anything about it. Y'all let me know in the comments.
add insult to injury, Morris says the hospital offered him a $25 gift card from Meyer for the inconvenience. Morris and his attorney, Maurice Davis, say they plan to file a lawsuit against the hospital over what they believe was racial discrimination. They're also calling for all hospital staff involved in the incident to be fired. In response to the allegations, the hospital sent this statement saying, quote, "The health, safety, and well-being of our patients, associates, and community members remains our top priority. We remain committed to honoring human dignity and acting with integrity and compassion for all persons and the community. We do not condone racial discrimination of any kind, and we are unable to provide details on cases under investigation," end quote. And Morris's attorney says he plans to file this lawsuit in federal court, something he says we should expect to happen in the next few weeks.
So yeah, that's what's happening right now. Again, this is an older video. This is from last year. This is from April 25th, 23. But the actual lawsuit is underway right now as we speak in 24. So yeah, hopefully he wins. And from what I read, he wasn't even asking for that much money. You're talking about like $75,000. Man, that's nothing. Go ahead and pay that. The hospital should go ahead and just pay that, man. Like, I mean, now it might be a little bit more. Y'all done drug it out. It might be a little bit more now, but if it is the same amount that I saw before, 75 grand, look, hospital, go ahead and pay that money and be done with it, because that was a big mistake that you made. I understand not believing them. I get it, because here's this guy who does not appear to be 100 years old, which is what you need to be a member of the Four Tops originally. You're skeptical. Really? You don't look to be, that old. Just, he gave you his name and his ID. Just go ahead and figure it out. And there was a lot more. There was an interview from TMZ. I could play that, but I can't play that because they love doing copyright claims. But he said that they took his cell phone, or they were trying to take his cell phone. They were trying to take his jewelry, but luckily his wife was there, so he just gave the jewelry to her. It was all kind of things that they were doing. They were just really mistreating him overall. Even if he did smoke crack, I don't think you should be treated like that. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Alexander Morris. Hopefully you get your money, sir. And hopefully when people say, hey, I'm X, Y, and Z person, take a little bit of time to figure it out. If somebody says, hey, my name is Alexander Morris, I'm the lead singer of the Four Tops, and you see their ID and it says Alexander Morris, all right, that's one or two. So now all you got to do is type in that name to Google, Four Tops, and you might see something pop up. recent performance, something like that. And then he said he was even trying to show people his Grammy performance on his phone, and people weren't they weren't really trying to see it. A nurse finally said, "Okay, what you got to show me?" And then when he showed her himself on stage with the rest of the Four Tops at the Grammys, what was that, last year? Oh, that is you. And then all of a sudden, all the stuff that they were trying to do, all the psych evaluation, the straight jacket they put on them, all that all of a sudden went away. Then that's when the whole $25 Meyer gift card came about. And by the way, I think that's like a grocery store. So what am I going to do? Get some avocados and some peanut butter? Like, what am I going to do with this over this experience? And he was in the hospital for 5 days. So I don't know how long the mistreatment went on. Was it for the first day, for the full 5 days? I can't call it, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this whole situation? Do you think it's racial discrimination, just a big mistake, bad staff? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think it was a big mistake. And then it's just a lack of follow through. Okay, you might get people that come in and say, I'm X, Y, and Z person. I'm Batman. I'm Princess Diana, all this, that, and the third, because them drugs make people say stuff like that. But this person obviously had an ID, and they said, Alexander Morris, the ID checks out. So let's kind of use a little bit more common sense sometimes, all right? If somebody's coming in there, they smell like liquor, you know, you could tell they high on crack or something like that. Okay, it's a little bit different. All right, you think that you are who? Your name is Denzel Washington and you were in Training Day? Okay, all right. I get that, but that was not this, at least from what I'm able to see right now. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.